PayPal. Let's talk about PayPal. Reporting stronger than expected results in the first quarter this morning. The company also raising its 2024 guidance. And our next guest says that initiatives put in place by CEO Alex Chriss, who took over last September, are already bearing fruit. For more, we're bringing in Moshe Katri, equity research analyst of IT services and payments at Wedbush Securities. It's good to see you here. A very different sort of tenor when it comes to PayPal here. What do you think that Chriss is doing that is working at PayPal?
Good to be here. I would say Chriss and his team really are, I would say they're getting it in terms of what needs to get done. And I'm talking more about the enterprise merchant business, the SMB merchant business, and on the consumer side as well. And it's all about monetization, and it's all about building this ecosystem of product and services and using it as a retention and monetization kind of tool. And we started to see that kind of, we saw better TPV numbers, better take rates. Obviously, when you're pushing in value-added services, you get better margins, and I think that also helps take rates. Transaction margins were better, and overall transactions were better as well. So I would say that this is very preliminary and very early in this, what we call a transition year for the company. But they're definitely doing a great job on the value-added services side in terms of trying to monetize it. And I don't know if you guys are aware, but everybody's talking about value-added services in the industry. And even Stripe, that had a user conference last week, is talking about decoupling value-added services from payments. And today you can actually go and buy value-added services from Stripe without actually having to use their payments platform. So this is becoming a very, very important, I would say, enhancement to revenue growth in general for this industry and obviously for PayPal.
And Moshe, I'm interested, I think your target here is, it's 85, Moshe. How did you get there? How did you arrive at that target?
Well, we're looking at $5 in earnings power and putting in a 20 multiple on that, maybe 22, 23 multiple on that.
And Moshe, to go back to what you were talking about with value-added services, what exactly, for people who are not familiar, what exactly are we talking about here? What are these value-added services?
Sure. If you're a merchant, we're talking about a bunch of different applications that are needed for your daily operations, anywhere from inventory management, receivables, rewards, payroll processing or payroll, and obviously capital. These are all things that you need to operate your business. And if you're able to use, for example, PayPal as a one-stop shop for that, you should be able to kind of unbundle that business, which is value-added services, from the payments piece. Look, core payments in general, the way I see it, is kind of a business that's becoming more commoditized. And if you really want to do better in terms of margins, you have to be able to sell all these services on top of the core payments kind of business. So that's on the merchants piece. And then remember, PayPal kind of divides it into two segments. One focuses on enterprises, i.e. larger merchants. And this is where they're doing really well in terms of transactions because of, all these merchants are using Braintree, which is a platform that helps them process those transactions. But the problem is that pricing there has been under pressure. So they're trying to kind of change that by selling these value-added services on top. And then you also have the SMB piece, which is relatively new for PayPal, and they're trying to kind of build that ecosystem of products and services around that. We're starting to see some positive results there. And then on the consumer-facing platform, and this is where you have the digital banking product, or what we call the PayPal app, or the super app. And this is where you do anywhere from money transfer, bill pay, Venmo, which is P2P, all these things that you should be able to kind of cross-sell into roughly about 500 million consumers that are using the platform. This is the way I see it. Before this leadership came on board, I would say PayPal was probably the least utilized platform in the space, and it's pretty sticky. 35, 36 million merchants that continue to use the platform just because it has very high conversion rates. All you have to do is kind of build that plan to be able to sell those value-added services on top of the core payments platform. And then, 500 million consumers that are using the digital app, and you should be able to do the same thing, replicate that strategy there as well.